Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. I can't live without you. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. I can't breathe without your love. Your love. I can't breathe without you. I can't breathe without you. I can't breathe without you. I can't breathe without you.
Oh my goodness. Hello, hello, hello to you. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening. I'm Dee Stevens, and this is the Night Owl News. And as always, as folks are coming in, we're going to start this thing off with some prayer. Yes, we are. So here we go. Heavenly Father, I thank you for another wonderful, gorgeous day that you have given us. I ask, Father God, that you continue to go and be with me as we continue through this journey together of sharing the truth and your word. And I ask a hedge of protection over each and every person who decides that they want to go and watch a video and learn the truth, and especially the truth about you. I continue to go and lift my sister up in prayer for her chemotherapy treatments, Father God, and as she continues to go and lose her hair, Father God, comfort her and give her a peace beyond all understanding, as well as our family, Father God. And I ask all these things in your heavenly name. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen and amen. All right. I am ready. I hope you are ready. And we are going to get some stuff started. Of course, you can go and see on the screen right now. We have the updated version of the Durham Pain with a turban on top. But before we go there, let us go here. Ephesians 2 verses 8 and 9 says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." That is Ephesians 2 verses 8 and 9. And for the next one, it is Proverbs 4 verses 25. "Thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee." That is Proverbs 4 verse 25. Man, what a day it has been. And I'm going to continue with the little theme of different frames. And my frame today is Shrek and Donkey. Then I put Lucky up here in the corner over the frame. So thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, who do we have here in the Chatomobile that I have? Oh, Letter Tube. Get the coffee and hello. Good evening to all, and good evening to you, Letter Tube. We have my favorite bot. It's Uncle Bot Bones. I gotta tell you guys, okay, earlier, as soon as I started the stream, first let me back up the bus even more. Okay, I log onto my computer tonight, and guess what? Update City. I'm like, oh my goodness, am I going to be able to get all this stuff done? It had like 3 major updates that it wanted to go and do, and I'm like, oh, okay, God, you got this. Let the computer go. And I just went and did a little research on the YouTube on TV. So right now, there are no drop-in frames. So thank you, Jesus, for that. I didn't have to go and do any tweaking. 5-5 if you're hearing me fine. But here's the thing. Uncle Bot Bones, you've got bot competition. Okay, I saved it. But I got a message that said, "Just stop by, going to sack out soon. Sorry, I missed you." And that was from Periscope. And it says app. So I guess Periscope is sort of like paying attention to what I'm doing now. And, well, it is what it is, so I'm going to continue on. And who else do we have in the room? Ooh, some no names. And Diesel! Diesel's here. Yay! Okay, and there's some other people, but if you don't chat, I can't see your name. But I do welcome you to the conversation for sure. Okay, so shall we begin? I think we shall. Yes, we will. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, did you notice that Vincent changed his banner? Did you? Uh-huh. There's his banner. He added that turban. And then, interesting enough, we shared this last night. Remember I told you that I wasn't going to play it because it was like 29 minutes long? Yeah. Well, Interesting stuff indeed. Wake up this morning and everything's went boom and blown up. So I do encourage you again to go and check it out for yourself. Now, here's the thing. If you do not have your copy of the Night Owl News, didn't mean to point at you. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I did. It's the mother thing in me, okay? It's the me thing. The me thing says I got to point at the children. Okay. I love you guys too. All right. Let me go and show you a little place that you can go and make a link. It is 9ch.net. It's from our friend. Well, at least it's our friend, one of our friends. This particular friend's by the name of Jim. He told me about this one. He said, oh, you should go and check this out, and you should use it. And I'm like, okay. So anytime it goes down, I'm on my secret comms going, Jim, help. So we have this, and I'm going to throw it in the chat room because this is so that you can have your copy to follow along. You will always be able to find a copy of it that is posted via scheduled post at dstevens.com. I also have it a scheduled post at my Twitter handle, which is at dstevensvoice. So that you can do, and you can follow me. You can DM me, especially if you have an idea or you see something and you're going, hey, have you checked this out? And I'm going to go, well, either I'm going to say yes, or I'm going to go and say, oh, no, I didn't see that. Let me go and check into it. So that's who I am. Oh, I love being called Mama. Mama. Yeah, the Frenchy guy from Next News. Yes. Also, he said, post tweeted, oh, yeah. We got some stuff we're going to be sharing on that one. Okay, here we go. This I thought was very interesting that it was shared today, especially with what is going on right now. Now, I will tell you, I got up early this morning, and I watched all day, except for when the moment in time that I had to check my eyelids in the afternoon. You know what I'm talking about? It's a southern thing. I don't know. I'm not sleeping. I'm checking my eyelids for cracks. That's what I was doing. I wasn't sleeping. Hey, Miss B. What's up? Miss B's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Okay. I'm going to go and play this. I'm going to pray a lot. But this showed up. It says, at Joe Biden, at Senator Schumer, at Senator, well, you know who. Since all love Ruth Bader Ginsburg, please listen to her wise words about packing the court and how she disagrees with it. Since the three of you need a history lesson on what packing the court means. I thought it was quite interesting because of the fact that, as I'm watching this thing today, I was just simply blown away, and it's like one thing after another thing, and bad actors for sure. Bad actors for sure. And I'm just going to let you know today, this evening, we're going to be sharing some videos, okay? And I'm going to show you some stuff, some breakdowns of what happened, and some other breakdowns of what came earlier. So just a heads up on that. And let's go ahead and share this video. It's 1:30, and it is, again, out of her own mouth, which leads me to think that maybe her dying wish from her deathbed wasn't what everybody claims it was. I could be wrong, but that's what I get from it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and here you go.
I have heard that there are some people on the Democratic side who would like to increase the number of judges. I think that was a bad idea when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to pack the court. His plan was for every justice who stays on the court past the age of 70, the president would have authority to nominate another justice. If that plan had been effective, the court's number would have swelled immediately from 9 to 15, and the president would have 6 appointments to make. You mentioned before the court appearing partisan. Well, if anything would make the court appear partisan, it would be that. One side saying, when we're in power, we're going to enlarge the number of judges, so we will have more people who will vote the way we want them to. So I am not at all in favor of that solution.
She's not in favor of that solution. Just a reminder of what kind of world we are living in right now. Which one is it? Okay. This is something that I posted this afternoon because I didn't get on my computer. I just did it from my phone. As I said, Lord help me while I watch Booker, Drama Queen, and the others who are over actors. Please vote them out. Just saying. I'm telling you. What was her? Weinstein. That's it. Along with Chris and other people that are on the committee that were just, really? Are you kidding me right now? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that they don't understand the first time, or that, for me it felt like a political platform because there were more statements than questions. I will say that the Republicans were asking questions, and they were also allowing Amy to go and answer when the other people were not. I think my favorite thing was, I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to go and share that later. Let's see here. Really? Usually, though, being after midnight now. Yeah. Ooh, well, you're going to have to let me know if something's going down, Diesel. We'll have to share that for sure. For sure. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Here you go. Here she is. Now, this is the highlight reel. And I'm going to go ahead and play the highlight reel in its entirety, because if you missed it, or if you just couldn't handle it, because I definitely had to pray up before I did it, because I was sitting there just going, oh, Lord, help me, help me, help me, because it makes you angry. It makes you angry that they continue to be who they are and show their true colors and their hatred toward we the people. That's where I'm at. That's where I am at. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do this. And hang on, got to put the I hope that this doesn't unmute the other one. Well, we're going to see. Here we go. Go back here. Unmute that. Unmute it. I'm going to unmute it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unmute it. All right. It is 14 minutes and 46 seconds long, but be blessed that it's not from where it was in the morning until, almost 9 o'clock at night. Craziness. 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 Ah, yes. I hear you, Diesel. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Senator Cornyn.
Most of us have multiple notebooks and notes and books and things like that in front of us. Can you hold up what you've been referring to in answering our questions? Is there anything on it?
That letterhead that says United States Senate.
That's impressive.
Is that true no matter what the issue is, whether it's gun, abortion, health care, campaign finance? Does that process hold true for everything?
Yes, judges can't just wake up one day and say, I have an agenda, I like guns, I hate guns, I like abortion, I hate abortion, and walk in like a royal queen and impose, their will on the world. You have to wait for cases and controversies, which is the language of the Constitution, to wind their way through the process.
All right. Well, Senator Sass gave us a good civics lesson. I hope that's the basic lesson in law here.
So on something that is really a major cause with major effect on over half of the population of this country, who are women, after all, it's distressing not to get a straight answer. So let me try again. Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
Senator, I completely understand why you are asking the question, but again, I can't pre-commit or say, yes, I'm going in with some agenda, because I'm not. I don't have any agenda. I have no agenda to try to overrule Casey. I have an agenda to stick to the rule of law and decide cases as they come.
People say that you're a female Scalia. What would you say?
I would say that Justice Scalia was obviously a mentor. And as I said when I accepted the president's nomination, that his philosophy is mine too. He was a very eloquent defender of originalism. And that was also true of textualism, which is the way that I approach statutes and their interpretation. And similarly to what I just said about originalism, for textualism, the judge approaches the text as it was written with the meaning it had at the time and doesn't infuse her own meaning into it. But I want to be careful to say that if I'm confirmed, you would not be getting Justice Scalia, you would be getting Justice Barrett. And that's so because originalists don't always agree, and neither do textualists. Justices Scalia and Thomas disagreed often enough that my friend Judge Amul Thapar teaches a class called Scalia versus Thomas. It's not a mechanical exercise.
Well, I'll wait till the movie comes out.
Have you seen the George Floyd video?
I have.
What impact did it have on you?
Senator, as you might imagine, given that I have 2 Black children, that was very, very personal for my family. Jesse was with the boys on a camping trip out in South Dakota, so I was there, and my 17-year-old daughter, Vivian, who's adopted from Haiti, all of this was erupting. It was very difficult for her. We wept together in my room, and then it was also difficult for my daughter, Juliet, who's 10. I had to try to explain some of this to them. I mean, my children, to this point in their lives, have had the benefit of growing up in a cocoon where they have not yet experienced hatred or violence. And for Vivian, to understand that there would be a risk to her brother or the son she might have one day of that kind of brutality has been an ongoing conversation. It's a difficult one for us, like it is for Americans all over the country.
And so I'd like to ask you, as an originalist who obviously has a passion for history, I can't imagine that you could separate the two, to reflect on the history of this country. Where are we today when it comes to the issue of race? Some argue it's fine. Everything's fine, and you don't have to even teach children about the history of slavery or discrimination. Others say there's implicit bias in so many aspects of American life that we have to be very candid about and address. Others go further and say, no, it's systemic racism that's built into America, and we have to be much more pointed in our addressing it. How do you feel?
So I think it is an entirely uncontroversial and obvious statement, given, as we just talked about, the George Floyd video, that racism persists in our country. As to putting my finger on the nature of the problem, whether, as you say, it's just outright or systemic racism, or how to tackle the issue of making it better, those things, are policy questions. They're hotly contested policy questions that have been in the news and discussed all summer. So while, as I did share my personal experience, I'm very, happy to discuss the reaction our family had to the George Floyd video. Giving broader statements or making, broader diagnoses about the problem of racism is kind of beyond what I'm capable of doing as a judge.
Well, I would doubt that. I just don't believe you can be as passionate about originalism and the history behind language that we've had for decades, if not centuries, without having some thought about where we stand today. But I'm not going to press you on that.
No matter what anyone else may think or expect, I have not committed to anyone or so much as signaled. I've never even written. I've been in a couple of opinions in the Seventh Circuit that have been around the edges of election law. But I haven't even written anything that I would think anybody could reasonably say, oh, this is how she might resolve an election dispute. And I would consider it, I certainly hope that all members of the committee have more confidence in my integrity than to think that I would allow myself to be used as a pawn to decide this election for the American people. So that would be on the question of actual bias. And you asked about the appearance of bias.
Correct.
And you're right that the statute does require a justice or judge to recuse when there's an appearance of bias. And what I will commit to every member of this committee, to the rest of the Senate, and to the American people is that I will consider all factors that are relevant to that question, that requires recusal when there's an appearance of bias. And there is case law under the statute. And as I referenced earlier, in describing the recusal process at the Supreme Court, Justice Ginsburg said that it is always done with consultation of the other justices. And so I promise you that if I were confirmed and if an election dispute arises, both of which are ifs, that I would very seriously undertake that process and I would consider every relevant factor. I can't commit to you right now for the reasons that we've talked about before, but I do assure you of my integrity and I do assure you that I would take that question very seriously.
Don't pack the court. In recent days, I've seen some in the media and some in this body try to redefine what it means to pack the court. Some have suggested, well, court packing takes various forms and it can mean confirming a lot of people all at once. Some have defined it so as to suggest that it consists of doing that which the Trump administration and the Republican Senate have been doing over the last 3.5 years, which is filling vacancies as they have arisen and doing so with textualist, originalist judges. This may not be something that some like, but this is not court packing. Court packing is itself manipulative. It's something that has great danger to do immense political and constitutional harm to our system of government, in part because it would set up a one-way ratchet. Once you create a position and confirm someone to that position, absent death, retirement, or impeachment and removal, that position remains in place. So if, for example, a future Congress and White House were to decide to get together and to pack the court and increase the number, say, to 11, and let's say it's Democrats who do that, and we've got Joe Biden now as a presidential candidate who's refusing to say whether he would do it. There's a reason he's not saying whether he would do it. There's only one reason why you refuse to answer that question, and it's if you're wanting to be able to do it, but you don't want to take the heat for the fact that you're thinking about doing it right now. So if they do that, where does it lead? Well, it inevitably leads to the point where the next time Republicans have control of both houses of Congress and the White House, they'd increase it as well. You'd end up increasing it incrementally. Before long, it looks like the Senate in Star Wars, where you've got hundreds of people on there. I don't know what the total number would be, but you increase it at all, you change the number at all, you do so for partisan political purposes at all, you delegitimize the court.
I want to run through a few examples. So Brown v. Board of Education As we know, that holds that the 14th Amendment prohibits states from segregating schools on the basis of race. So is that precedent
Yes.
that can't be overruled?
Well, that is precedent. And as I think I said in that same article, it's super precedent. People consider it to be on that very small list of things that are so widely established and agreed upon by everyone. Calls for its overruling simply don't exist.
Okay. Well, you also separately acknowledged that in Planned Parenthood v. Casey, the Supreme Court's controlling opinion talked about the reliance interest on Roe v. Wade, which it treated in that case as super precedent. Is Roe a super precedent?
How would you define super precedent?
I might have thought someday I'd be sitting in that chair. I'm not. I'm up here, so I'm asking you.
Okay, well, people use super precedent differently.
Okay.
The way that it's used in the scholarship and the way that I was using it in the article that you're reading from was to define cases that are so well settled that no political actors and no people seriously push for their overruling. And I'm answering a lot of questions about Roe, which I think indicates that Roe doesn't fall in that category. And scholars across the spectrum say that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled. But descriptively, it does mean that it's not a case that everyone has accepted and doesn't call for its overruling.
Okay, so here's what's interesting to me. You said that Brown is, and I know my time is running out, is a super precedent. That's something the Supreme Court has not even said, but you have said that. So if you say that, why won't you say that about Roe v. Wade, a case that the court's controlling opinion in that Planned Parenthood v. Casey case has described as a super precedent? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, Senator, I can just give you the same answer that I just did. I'm using a term in that article that is from the scholarly literature. It's actually one that was developed by scholars who are, certainly not conservative scholars, who take a more progressive approach to the Constitution. And again, as Richard Fallon from Harvard said, Roe is not a super precedent because calls for its overruling have never ceased, but that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled. It just means that it doesn't fall on the small handful of cases like Marbury versus Madison and Brown versus the board that no one questions anymore.
Is United States v. Virginia military, is that super precedent?
Senator Klobuchar, if you continue to ask questions about super precedents that aren't on the list of the super precedents that I discussed in the article that are well acknowledged in the constitutional law literature, every time you ask the question, I will have to say that I can't grade it.
Okay. Well, I am then left with looking at the tracks of your record and where it leads the American people. And I think it leads us to a place that's going to have severe repercussions for them. Thank you.
A few years later, while running for president, then candidate Trump said on Twitter, and I believe my colleague put this up earlier, if I win the presidency, my judicial appointments will do the right thing, unlike Bush's appointee, John Roberts, on Obamacare. And as recently as just 2 months ago, Vice President Pence described Chief Justice Roberts as, and I'm quoting, a disappointment to conservatives because of the Obamacare decision. In upholding the ACA, the Chief Justice was the one justice appointed by a Republican president who went against the political wishes of the party that appointed him. Why did you choose to single him out for criticism in that constitutional commentary article?
Well, Senator Coons, I was writing about the majority opinion, and Chief Justice Roberts was the author of the opinion. So I was simply discussing what the 5-justice majority adopted as its reasoning. And I'd like to emphasize again that I was not attacking Chief Justice Roberts or impugning his character or anything of that sort. It was an academic critique. And I want to emphasize, just given this line of questions that you're asking, that I am standing before the committee today saying that I have the integrity to act consistently with my oath and apply the law as the law, to approach the ACA and every other statute without bias. And I have not made any commitments or deals or anything like that. I'm not here on a mission to destroy the Affordable Care Act. I'm just here to apply the law and adhere to the rule of law.
Man, oh man, yes, she rocked it. I'm just telling you. And I was so understanding as she was being grilled over and over again. Affordable care, Obamacare. Let's just be real, okay? Roe versus Wade, and then bringing up stuff that she signed years ago. Her personal belief before she ever got into sitting on justice, okay? Her religious belief is against abortions, okay? She signed a piece of paper at the back of her church, and they just kept over and over and over again saying, well, there's no way that, you could be biased on this because, they blew it up so that she could see it, everybody could see it. And it was over and over and over again. And then the wording that she used about the LGBTQ, which didn't become offensive until recently. Just letting you know that. It was never offensive until the Democrats decided they wanted to be offensive. So, I mean, it was over and over and over and over and over and over and over, the same thing over and over again. Their big hitters were Roe versus Wade, Obamacare, and they kept giving examples of pre-existing conditions. Well, nobody wants to get rid of the pre-existing conditions when it comes to the Affordable Care Act. The whole thing about the Affordable Care Act, as I believe it to be, was the wording in it that caused it to be mandatory and then charge us a fee if we did not keep insurance. Yes, Roe versus Wade was a big, big, big thing today. It's like over and over again. Again, grilling. And it just made somebody who actually looks at it from a perspective of normality. I think that's a big word that I can use. And they're watching it to see, after the last one, man, it was like, okay, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And it's pretty plain and clear. They're trying to say that she can't make a judgment because the fact that she does not believe in abortion. And it's definitely panic, 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 Diesel. Absolutely panic, panic, panic. And, but that's not the case. I mean, she's sitting right here in this picture. I purposely took this picture with a notepad to jot down notes, and they're probably notes to add things if they come to mind. That was another thing too, that they wanted to go and say, well, you didn't let people know on the committee that you had signed this piece of paper, and the Guardian came up with this, and this, it's like 18,000 pieces. Was that the total, I believe, that she turned in? I think that was the total. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy as to what is going on. But we know, hashtag God wins. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, this was so priceless. It makes me want to believe that Wolfie, somebody's pulling his chain. I don't know if you guys got to see this. If the stuff about Bin Laden proves out, Barry, Biden, and Clinton are done. Well, you remember our friend, those guys have already said we have it all. Yes, that's right. Going back some 30 years, 18,000 pieces of documents and stuff. She gave what she remembered and what she didn't remember when it came out. She added as a revision to add it to it. So this is the, and oh my gosh, Spartacus, and those big eyes where he's like, well, blah, blah, blah. And then conspicuous. That was the big thing, is like using these people as pawns. All right. They don't give a crap about people in their district. They don't. They're using those people, and one day their eyes are going to open up. These people will wake up one way or another. They're going to wake up and they're going to see that they were used for a political pawn. I'm just praying that people vote these people out, because as I'm sitting there and I'm watching one, and I can't remember his name, he looks like he has the onsense of, but between Nancy Pelosi and this other person, his name will come to me later. Tremors, big tremors, as he's sitting there and moving paper to, this paper there, and they didn't have him in the in that highlight reel. He was just ugly too. You can, when you go in and watching something like that and you're asking godly discernment about it, you can pretty much see the ugly. God don't like ugly. He don't. I'm just saying. He don't like ugly. Now, this one that I'm going to go and play for you is hilarious. Now, I'm going to get up and make me a cup of coffee while I'm playing it, because she loses her mind. Okay? And as you're looking at the way that Wolf is treating his buddy Pelosi, there's some stuff going down. And you can look in his eyes just in this picture alone, okay? You can look in his eyes and go, oh, okay. I've never seen Wolf get so what is it called? Aggressive toward Nancy. And Nancy is panic in this video. I'm telling you. Ooh, got the God goosebumps right now. Hairs are standing on end. Yes. Panic. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Crazy. Okay, you ready? Here we go. All right, we are going to click on that.
As you know, there are Americans who are being evicted from their homes. They can't pay the rent. Many Americans are waiting in food lines for the first time in their lives. Can you look them in the eye, Madam Speaker, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer?
Well, because, thank you very much, Wolf, and I hope you'll ask the same question of the Republicans about why they don't really want to meet the needs of the American people. But let me say to those people, because all of my colleagues, we represent these people. I have for over 30 years represented my constituents. I know what their needs are. I listen to them, and their needs are not addressed in the president's proposal. So when you say to me, why don't you accept theirs? Why don't they accept ours? Our legislation is there to do three things primarily: to honor our workers, honor our heroes, our healthcare workers, our police and fire first responders, our teachers, our transportation, sanitation, food workers, the people who make our lives work. We couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. Many of them have risked their lives so that to save lives, and now they will lose their jobs because McConnell says let the states go bankrupt.
Excuse me for interrupting,
let the states go bankrupt.
Madam Speaker, but they really need the money right now, and even members of your own.
I understand that,
but even members of your own caucus. Even members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal. $1.8 trillion. Congressman Ro Khanna, for example. But let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat. And he just said this. He said, people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal. Put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February. I want this very much now, because people need help now. But it's no use giving them a false thing just because the president wants to put a check with his name on it in the mail, that we should not be doing all we can to help people pay the rent, put food on the table, to enhance benefits, that they don't lose their jobs if they're state and local, we're talking about the consequences of a pandemic, that the symptoms of a problem that the president refuses to address.
But you know,
and that is the coronavirus.
We know
that is
we
the
know
coronavirus.
the problem out there, but there are millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. They can't pay the rent. Their kids need the food.
That's right, and that's what we're trying to get done.
$1.8 trillion, and the president just tweeted, stimulus, go big or go home. He wants even more right now. So why not work out a deal with him, and don't let the perfect, as they say here in Washington, be the enemy of the good.
Well, I will not let the wrong be the enemy of the right.
What's wrong with $1.8 trillion?
Well, you know what? Do you have any idea what the difference is between the spending that they have in their bill and that we have in our bill? Do you realize that they have come back and said all these things for child tax credits and earned income tax credits, for helping people who have lost their jobs, are eliminated in their bill? Do you realize they pay no respect to the fact that child care is very important for people whose children cannot go to school because they're doing remote learning, and yet they minimize the need for child care, which is the threshold with which people, mothers and fathers, can go to work if they have that? Do you have any idea of how
That's precisely why, Madam
short
Speaker,
they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it, because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They are not negotiating this situation. They have no idea of the particulars. They have no idea of what the language is here. I didn't come over here to have, so you're the apologist for the Obama, excuse me. God forbid.
Madam Speaker, I'm not an apologist.
Obama.
I'm asking you serious questions because so many people are in desperate need right now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the last time?
Let me respond to you.
Let me ask you, when was the last time, Madam Speaker, when was the last time you spoke with the president about this?
I don't speak to the president. Speak with his representative.
Why not call him and say, Mr. President, let's work out a deal. It's not going to be everything you want, not going to be everything I want, but there are so many Americans right now who are in desperate need. Let's make a deal.
What makes me amused, if it weren't so sad, is how you all think that you know more about the suffering of the American people than those of us who are elected by them to represent them at that table. It is unfortunate that we do not have shared values with this White House, and that they have in their bill, why don't you talk about in their bill, a tax break for the wealthiest families in the country, while they cut out the earned income tax credit for the poorest families in our country and the poorest children in our country. That we have to fight with them to get them to address the coronavirus crisis, because they have said it was a hoax, it was magical, it was a miracle, it was going to cure it. It hasn't. And that's why we find ourselves in this situation. I feel very confident about the knowledge that I bring to this, but more importantly, the knowledge that my chairs, our chairs of jurisdiction, science-based, academically documented, institutionally suggested in terms of what the cost would be to do it, and to do it that way. And about, we talk about child care, yes. We talk about safety in the workplace. Safety in the workplace, that's a very important issue, especially in the time of the pandemic. So what I say to those people is, we're going to get a deal. And when we do, it will be retroactive. It will be retroactive.
Here's what you wrote in a letter to House Democrats, Madam Speaker, and I ask these questions only, as you know, so many millions of Americans are suffering
Well, you
right
quote
now.
two people who know nothing about the agreement. There is no agreement, but what the suggestions are, as if there's some authority on the subject. Please give equal weight to to all of the chairmen on the committee who have written this bill.
But so many of your fellow Democrats in the House, they want a deal right now.
No, that isn't.
The problem solvers, they all want a deal right now.
Yeah.
And here's what they're complaining about, because you wrote a letter to House Democrats and you said this. Let me read a line from the letter you wrote. The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit if there's a deal that will help millions of Americans right now?
He's not that important. But let me say this. With all due respect, and you know we've known each other a long time, you really don't know what you're talking about. If the plural of anecdote is not data. Yes, there's some people who said this or that. Overwhelmingly, my caucus wants what is right for the American people. Overwhelmingly, our chairman who wrote the bill, read their statements. They all put out their own statements when they saw what the White House was proposing. So do a service to the issue and have some level of respect for the people who have worked on these issues, written the bill to begin with. Now, let me just say this in terms of the numbers. I want people to do the math. We had 3.4, which would meet the needs of the American people for a sustained period of time, so that there was some certainty in what would happen. The Republicans said no, well, so we took it down $1 trillion by cutting the time. We took it down another $200 billion. So we're now $1.200 billion down. We came down to 2.2. At the same time, since tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill, at the same time, because there was no resolution, Mitch McConnell said, let's pause. The virus didn't pause, and now we're at a place where we need more money. We need more money for PPP, for our small businesses. We need more money for our airlines. We need more money for our schools. So we have absorbed nearly $500 billion more of expenses still within the 2.2.
I understand all of that, and I have only the greatest respect for you.
So do the math.
Madam Speaker, I have only the greatest respect for you.
We have come down $1.6 trillion.
$1.8 trillion. $1.8 trillion is a lot of money. The American people need that money ASAP because they're suffering right now. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying...
And you don't care how it's spent.
I care, of course, how it's spent. But what I don't understand is why not talk to the president personally, call him up and say, Mr. President, let's get a deal tomorrow.
Look, let me say this. The president has sent Mr. Mnuchin to negotiate. That's what we've done with other presidents. This isn't unusual. With President Bush, we did this quite a bit because that's how you negotiate. And then you take it to the president. Mr. Mnuchin, I think he has integrity representing his position. May I finish, please? But he has integrity representing his position, but his position has no integrity. They do not share our values. Have a little respect for the fact that we know something about these subjects. And there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans in whether they want to give a big tax cut to the wealthiest people in the country in their bill, in the CARES Act. We tried to take it out in this bill. Instead, they took out earned income tax credit, child tax credit, expanded health benefits to UI benefits to the extent that it was agreed to before.
Right.
So this is, I have every confidence in what and the arguments that we make because it's based on science and documentation. Our chairs know their stuff. They know what they're doing, with all due respect to the kind of people you were referencing. And I welcome their enthusiasm. I welcome their interest. I welcome their originality of their thinking. But the fact is, we have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people in a retroactive way, so they're not at a total loss. They are at a loss because the president has ignored the virus. Right. I wish he would spend time on the fact that if he had not ignored the virus, we wouldn't be in the position we're in, but we are. And let me say about that also, I hope that I'm pleased that these Pharmaceutical companies are taking the responsible position to halt and hopefully then resume, because we want the public to have confidence in whatever therapies or whatever vaccines come along, that they will take them.
All right.
And to people who say, well, I don't trust Trump on that, if we trust the Food and Drug Administration for what they are doing, the scientists there who've been working 24/7 for months and months and months, excellent science. The science should call the shot, and when they do, we should all trust it.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go
But it
into that.
doesn't- yeah,
You
we've
evidently
gone
do
through that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in
All right,
person.
Madam Speaker,
virtually.
these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
No, we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to
All
you.
right.
But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
And it's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them.
who
And we
are
represent
trouble
them.
getting
And
by
we
on
represent
these
them.
long food
And we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
We
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just
We
saying,
represent them, and we know them.
as we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important.
See what I mean? She was in serious panic mode, and who was pulling his strings? I've never seen a Wolfie like that before. Just saying. Quite interesting. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. That just is, and CNN. Really? Really? That is very true. I mean, she was so panic. Just crazy. Tell a lie enough. Yeah. Those fingers and those, you don't know. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? More than likely, the really, really bad actors were not truly voted in. They were put into those positions where they're at. And we just have to remember that. It's time now for people to not rely on, I'm not going to vote this time. No, you really need to vote. You need to vote them out, because how else are we going to drain the swamp? Well, there is other things that can be done. Impeach, maybe. Let's get rid of her that way. Maybe. I don't know. It's just, oh my gosh. Yes, that was quite an exchange between those two. A couple of things that I went and saw today or tonight. Since Labor Day, Trump rally attendance, 240,000, right? No, 240, what? What? Really? I don't know if that's the case or not, but Biden, 84. I like the humor. I like some of the stuff that this guy writes, so if you want to follow him, I have that one right there. This is so cute, and it's really, really short, so I'm going to go and show that right fast. Because it is cute, it is short, and here it is. Alright, here we go. Hang on, let me take that off.
Listen to me, I said what do you wanna be? I'll tell you, young man. Are you listening to me? I said what do you wanna be? I'll tell you,
I'm sorry, I just love our president. He doesn't care if he's acting the fool or not, because guess what? There's a little fool in all of us, for sure. But I like the way he does his little dance. It's just so cute to me. All right. Next, here we go. This right here was an interesting little post. I saw it due to Ninja Stunts, who went and that's not moonwalking though. Moonwalking is sliding your feet backwards. He's doing the what did it? I'm trying to remember. One of the grandkids told me when I was doing the same thing. It's like, Mimi, you're doing the old person dance, and I'm like, what? Really? Yeah, your feet really aren't moving. So I'm like, okay. Then whenever I try to, show them, I can bust a move. They're like, please, Mimi, please stop. You're embarrassing us. So, oh well. Oh my goodness. All right. I don't know if you guys saw this. There is, we had shared last night that there was going to be a video that came out. It has a lot of colorful language in it, so I'm going to refrain from playing that. The link to the short video is here. The link to the full video, I think it's 12 minutes and something. Could be a little bit longer, but that one is right there. President with a sense of humor makes my day. Are you ready? Here we go. Biden for president. I'm sorry, it was funny to me too. That was cute. All right. Again, Fauci was not taken out of context. I did the dang interview. In fact, the entire interview is even more supportive of the president and his administration. Mark Levin is the man. I'm just saying. He will speak up when he needs to speak up, and you can find that link right there. And not finally, but here you go. This one I'm going to share with you. It's a video in regards to GOP candidate running against Maxine Waters that has gone viral. So let's go ahead and open that up, and we are going to play this one. There we go.
Packing, not him. And his new viral campaign ad just might help him get the job done.
Do you know where I am right now? Maxine Waters' $6 million mansion. Do you know where I'm not right now? Maxine Waters district. Yep, that's right. Maxine does not live in her district, but I do. I was born right here in South LA, in a place Maxine refuses to live. Maxine Waters does not drink our water, she does not breathe our air, and while she sits here in her mansion, our district is in ruins. Deadly crime spiked 15% in South LA. The homicide rate in South LA has shot up by 53%. South LA has the highest poverty rate in the city, with a crippling 43% of its residents living below the poverty line. Homelessness rates has increased by 264% since 2009. And our schools fail our children. Unlike Maxine Waters, I know the pain that crime, violence, gangs, homelessness does to our children. I was one of the kids left behind by Maxine Waters. I'm gonna fight for safety and dignity for South LA. The only question you need to ask is this. In the last 44 years, where has Maxine Waters been?
Joining me now, the candidate behind that ad, Joe Collins, Navy vet and candidate for California's 43rd Congressional District. Joe, I know you're at the Trump rally tonight, but that video racked up 3 million views, more than that, in less than 48 hours. So what's the response been? Are you raising money from that? And what about the people in the actual district that you want to represent? What have you heard?
Yeah, so the video was actually an anomaly. You know, we have a really good team that put that video together. So shouts out to everybody on Team Collins. But we've always been doing good at fundraising because the message that we've been bringing to the people is a message of rebuilding the community, bringing quality jobs back. You know, supporting small businesses and overhauling our education, as well as rebuilding the relationship within the police and the community. And so these are things that people actually want to have. I mean, Maxine, she's been in office for a very long time.
Sorry, I got distracted just for a moment, but there you go. In where I really like the fact that these other people are coming in and going, hey, guess what? This is what's really going on. I was distracted by a Ninja post about 20 minutes ago. What I'm going to do is, and we'll go ahead and pull it over here so that we can look at it together. Ninja's really good at going and making sure that we do what it is that we need to do to keep... if you're not following Ninja Stunts, I highly recommend it. I have to paste it over because I had it over on this side of the screen. All right. I don't know if there's sound in this, so it's only 8 seconds long. I don't think I'm going to go and play the sound, but it's only 8 seconds long. And it says here, China, 6 trucks collide, causing a fire on October the 14th, which is today, near the Shanghai S20 Outer Ring Highway. A truck burned down after being struck, blocking 2 lanes. At the moment, the fire is out. Some drivers are still stranded. So, again, if you're not following Ninja Stunts, he's really, really good at keeping things up to date and double-checking facts. So, I highly recommend that you go and follow him. All right. And now we're going to see if those guys may have posted. And I need my disclaimer. Those guys came from Sir Patrick Mac iPot. I am repeating, not plagiarizing, I am repeating his terminology for our friends. Okay? All right. So, we're going to go and see if those guys have done anything. Dun, dun, dun. Why, look. Those guys did something. Yes, they did. And it's one thing. So I'm going to go and open it up and see if I can see it. I may have to go and... oh my goodness, I can't see that at all. Oh my goodness, okay. Alright, I know that you're not going to be able to see it either because if I put it like that, hang on one second. I gotta figure out, that is like really, really, really... Ooh. What? Okay, this looks like we need to, let me see something. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to rearrange a few things. And in doing so, that means I have to... What happened to me? Uh-oh. Oh, I know what happened to me. I get it now. All right, let me move this over here. Because the fact that I moved this, I disappeared. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's see. I think I have a button to share the screen. Display, I don't want 2. Let me see if I can do 1. And there we go. Okay, so we'll hit that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my display so we can read the whole thing together, and it'll make me disappear, and that's okay. So here we go. I need to go here. Well, it should. Okay, I know what I need to do. Hang on. Gotta go all up it to do. Display 2. I gotta go all the way up here. There we go. And there. And I'm talking my way through it. Okay. It's just too big. So, alright, let's read this together, folks. The House Intelligence Committee to hold a virtual open hearing on misinformation and conspiracy theories online. Oh my goodness. Washington on Thursday, October the 15th, which is not tomorrow, but on Thursday at 1:30. The House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence will convene a virtual unclassified hearing entitled Misinformation Conspiracy. Here we go again. Let's see. And informatics. Stopping the spread online. Okay. Conspiracy theories and misinformation narrative. All right. Hang on. Oh, that's much better. Now I can get it on the whole screen. Okay. Go here and there we go. All right. Okay. See, narratives that prey on individuals' fears and uncertainties continue to mar the online landscape. Well, does this sound like panic to you guys? I believe this is panic. I think this is very much so. Panic, panic, panic. We have to go and make sure to not have those guys credited. We have to discredit them. That's what we have to do. We have here Dr. Joan Donovan, Research Director. We have Nina, whatever her name is. But here you go. The House Intelligence Committee. Open virtual meeting. Wow. I do believe, it's my opinion, I do believe, I need to move this back. Sorry, but I have to do this all at one time. There we go. I need to move that back so I'm not looking at the second screen. But there you go. That's what those guys have posted, and I'm going to read what those guys have posted there as well. What happens when too many people don't buy what they're selling? What happens when too many people wake up? What happens when they lose control of the digital battlefield? Mr. Russia collusion pusher himself now involved, knowingly. Our friend, those guys. Wow. 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 Oh my goodness. Knowingly. That's crazy, guys. I'm just saying. That's crazy. If you want to read through the whole thing, you can. Or don't forget to tune in. Because you know we're going to talk about it that night at 1:30 on Thursday is when it's going. So maybe Jim and James will be talking about it on Thursday. They are spreading fear. And you know what? The big thing about those kind of things are that they can tend to be FFs. Just saying. Look here, not there. Look here, not there. MS-13. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. At some point, the immunity, yes. Yep, it's true. And here's the thing. At some point, they are going to look at all of this and go, I'm either waking up or I'm going to continue to take that little blue pill instead of the red pill because They don't care. And the others that have brainwashed with the television, they sure don't care. Ooh, look at you, Diesel. That's a pretty good observation. That is pretty good. But now that we know that, we know that we're probably going to get another slew of information between now and then to share. Remember to camouflage, okay, when we're sharing it, because a lot of it's that time again where they're going to go and start deleting some accounts again, because that's what happens. It just happens when we're on target. You know that's what happens. So be vigilant. Continue to go and do what it is that you do best when we do this. Remember, God loves you and I love you too. Got the scripture of the day coming up at 8 o'clock in the morning. A rebroadcast of this particular Night Owl News at noon later today. And I got to remember to go through and change the titles or come up with one joint title so I don't have to keep changing the title every single time and then go in and change the title sometime. Yes, it is. It is. Oh my goodness. Look at you, Diesel. 111. Red October. 111. Do you see that timestamp, guys? There's several people that have the timestamp on them. And then there are other people who don't have the timestamp. And I'm just saying, you just went and put it up there at 111. Drop the microphones. Both of them. Boom, yow. All right. Well, good night. All of you guys. And Mama D works for me. Either that or call me Mimi. But since you're not really my grandchildren, I'll go with Mama D. There is no accident. There is no coincidences. I'm just telling you that is how it is. Keep your eyes open too for. It's just. I'm just going to put it this way. You remember the old Geico commercial with the camel? It's hump day. We're going to get some information, okay? We are going to get some information. It's a coming, it's a coming. You want gifts, I want gifts. But if Diesel wants gifts, what kind of gifts do you want? Gifts like in information gifts? Because I can do information gifts. I'm still waiting for Pelosi to shut her mouth and take care of the people who are going and suffering right now. That's what I'm hoping. Sign a freaking deal already and stop making this about politics. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, whether you like it or not. Drop my microphone. I'm going to get me a little GIF that does that. Thank you, Miss B. Whoop, whoop. She's got 7-Eleven. That's a neat little store that has Slurpees. I miss 7-Elevens here. I used to like to go and get a big old Slurpee. Just saying. It would last me for my 4-hour shift on the radio. I'd go to 7-Eleven, get me a big old Slurpee. Get me a couple hot dogs. That was good for the evening. All right. I know. I have to go. I'm going to check one more time just to make sure that there wasn't anything else popping up there. I'm going to go back here. We're going to go home. That was 48.50. Yep, that was 48.50. So something's a coming around the bend. And I'm just saying it again. All right, we got here. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I love you guys. You guys rock. You make my evening go by so quickly. I can't believe how quickly it does go by. But now it's time for me to say goodbye. So let me get my sign here. Da 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 da. And also, I'm going to leave you with my Night Owl News thumbnail that we began with. Until tomorrow at midnight or in the morning at 8. Get out there and make somebody smile, okay? God bless you guys.